Oh boy, we got some breaking news on this situation that took place a couple hours ago.
In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families. Some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors.
What a
They
disgrace.
are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples.
What a disgrace. The millions are unhappy with this situation, and even people on the left are saying that Trump should have walked out this service. And that she isn't a bishop, a minister, a pastor. She is an activist. And that this was disgraceful. And even our top commenters say that this woman is not even supposed to be in this position. It even says this in the book. Wow. But let's jump in. God bless you all and your families. I'm wishing the best in everybody's life. Let's roll it.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Out to them patriots, my brothers and sisters around the world. I hope everybody that is watching this video is blessed, well, healthy, and that nothing but the best is going on in all you beautiful people's life, man. And that 2025 is an amazing year for you, your family, your kids, your friends, the neighbors, and the strangers around the world. But before we get into this video, I had to show you guys this, man. This is huge right now as Trump has responded, and all this woke propaganda, this so-called bishop, you know, pastor, and it's heated up, you guys. Even someone says, as a gay man, I would have fully supported President Trump getting up and walking out this service. This bishop is a far left activist and abused her position. She should resign. Man, this is how bad it was a couple hours ago when y'all know this situation broke the internet, went viral. Trump attacked at a church service, you guys. You know, and they even caught her laughing. Look at this.
General that they do. May they have joy, gratitude, contentment, composure,
look at this.
Serenity, understanding.
This disgusting, man. Disgusting, you guys.
Be theirs. May they attain full wisdom and liberation.
Just disgusting. You know, that is she ought to be ashamed of herself, honestly. You know, for real. But love, if you've seen how Trump, how they all responded just in that video when the camera was on them. I mean, but you know it's bad when the left and even the people, the gay community speaks out against the bishop. That's how bad it was. When even people that are anti-Trumpers hated this situation. Pissed everybody off, man. And that's what these lefties do. These radicals. You know, that's what they do. But this is what Trump said. The so-called bishop who spoke at the National Prayer Service on Tuesday morning was a radical left hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungracious way. She was nasty in tone and not compelling or smart. She failed to mention the large number of illegal migrants that come into our country and kill people. Many were deposited from jails and mental institutions, and it's a giant crime wave that is taking place in the USA. Apart from her inappropriate statements, the service was a very boring and uninspiring one. She was not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You just can't make it up, you guys. And then she went on to The View. She went on, this lady here, she went on to The View, you know, and CNN. And we're not surprised, you know. But check this out. Check this out. Remember, we got to take people back.
Why did you want to come out here and send
Their message, it is a message of a call for justice, for swift justice for George Floyd, for systemic justice for all.
And we all know the George Floyd situation.
Brown and black people who have been under the knee of this country in ways that we have witnessed time and again. This is wrong. And this rising up, this spontaneous uprising of people, mostly half my age or younger, they're the ones we should be listening to.
And they're angry at the president.
They're so angry.
They're angry at the president. So what is your message to President Trump today?
Well, I've given up speaking to President Trump. We need to replace President Trump. We need leadership that will lead us in the ways that this country deserves.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we have to take it all back. I've probably already seen this clip a million times, but just an absolute disgrace, man. Just an absolute disgrace, you know. But I love to see that even the gay community, people on the left speaking out against this and even agreeing that, man, we all would appreciate it if Trump walked out that service. You know, an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace. And Trump is demanding an apology. But make sure y'all hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, we keep it real, you know, keep you guys updated. I love you guys, man. And I pray that we all have an amazing 2025. You can see how 2025 was starting off, man, you know. California, I mean, just all over the place. It's been crazy, man. So just want to send my prayers and love to you guys. I know it's cold and snowy everywhere. Sorry if I sound a little scuffy. I've been a little sick with all this coldness, but you know, we're rocking and rolling. You know, I'm starting to feel better. But just want to send my prayers and love to all you guys, man. One love to the human race. I love every last one of y'all. And I really do think that we are off to a new direction. And it feels good that President Trump is back in office. You know, so much has been done just in the last 2 hours. I mean, 2 days. In the last 4 years. It's been an absolute disgrace what has taken place, you know, these last 4 years. But let's get into this.
Members of Congress and whatnot, the hoi polloi of Washington, for the most part, went up to Washington's National Cathedral for a national prayer event. And there at the lectern was Bishop Marianne Edgar Bood, and she gave a sermon that, you know, it's described as a sermon, but really it was a lecture where she told the new president, go easy on migrants and refugees and members of the LGBTQ community. If you missed it, it's gotten a lot of support in some quarters and a lot of criticism. Here she is.
I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families. Some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals.
Oh my God!
It's always good to learn. What was that, John, or was that Paul?
I don't know. She didn't go through scripture. Okay,
Right.
and she gave a political speech.
Absolutely.
And
I'm glad we're talking about this, y'all. We need to talk. It is ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous.
The preachers, I would have walked out. I commend the president for being graceful, but I'm J.D. Vance. I'm looking crazy. Like, what is she talking about doing a sermon? And I don't think it was the appropriate time. If you had something to say to the president that may be a little political, if you wanted to talk about the president exercising.
If y'all agree that Trump should have walked out this service, let me know in the comments section. And anybody that comments that, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button on that comment. Trump should have walked out this service. But you see lately, I don't know if a lot of y'all been noticing, he's been real nice and trying to get along with everybody, even people that attack him. You see what took place later that day at the press conference. And he told the reporters, what you're not going to do is interrupt me. Let me speak. I'm trying to be nice to everybody, but do not interrupt me. But lately, he has been real cool. Real cool. That's why I can't wait for these next 100 days, man. I can't wait. But if y'all comment down below right now if Trump should have walked out this service.
In mercy, then you could have asked for the president for a few minutes of his time and said, Mr. President, this is the issue that I feel. But don't get up there and try to preach a sermon that you cite no scripture for.
Well, she's not going to talk to him because during the George Floyd riots back in 2020, she said she'd given up trying to speak to Trump and said that he needed to be replaced. So, you know,
that's what I just showed y'all.
Look at the children. There's children there, too, that are hearing this message.
Well, here's the thing. You know, the president's team should have known that she could have said things that were inappropriate for, or, you know, stuff that they didn't need to hear or was not appropriate.
Just Google her.
That's all they would have to do. But instead, they put him in that position where he's in the front row.
Why was she selected? Is she's
the bishop,
rector of the...
Of that bishop, of that particular national cathedral. Here she is last night on CNN explaining what she wanted to do.
I was speaking to the president because I felt that he has this moment now where he feels charged and empowered to do what he feels called to do. And I wanted to say, you know, there is room for mercy. There's room for a broader compassion. We don't need to portray with a broad cloth in the harshest of terms some of the most vulnerable people in our society.
So Trump wants an apology, and he made that clear. He said the so-called bishop who spoke at the National Prayer Service on Tuesday morning was a radical left hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungracious way. She was nasty in tone and not compelling or smart. She failed to mention the large number of illegal immigrants that came into our country and killed people. Many were deposited from jails and mental institutions. It's a giant crime wave that is taking part in the USA. Apart from her inappropriate statements, the service was very boring and uninspiring. She is not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology. You got this historic moment. She decides to give a lecture. A self-important person who probably had AOC jot some notes down before.
You know what? I mean, she has every right to her opinion. We all have an opinion on this issue.
Right.
But I don't like it when ministers bring politics into the pulpit and try to lecture
in the
you.
church, man.
So I agree with you. Maybe pull him
A
aside
disgrace.
after the service and say, Mr. President, may I talk to you for a little bit? There's something in my community that bothers me that I need to tell you about, and just have an adult conversation, but do it privately. Because now everyone's talking about this.
The issue that she's asking for mercy on when it comes to the border, did you go and speak to any of the families that were killed by illegals?
Man, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
The cops that had fire shot at them. Did you ask for mercy for the cops? I mean, that's why you don't get involved in this. She could have said, let's bring the country together. Let's have the spirit of Christ. But she went into some political, radical leftist. Right. I don't know that church. I don't know the structure. But whoever is in command should have a look at this.
Well,
this is not biblical doctrine that she's speaking from the pulpit.
What denomination is this? Is it Episcopal?
I think Episcopalian, I think. Here's the thing. if she's going to be the bishop and she's going to lecture the president every time he goes to events like that, maybe it's time for the president and Washington in general to stop going to the National Cathedral.
I'm for that too.
Listen, not far from the White House is St. Matthew's, where we baptized my son Peter, or go to the Basilica at Catholic University. It's referred to as America's Catholic Church. I doubt that they would ever make anything political. And if you remember, at the inaugural, who gave one of the opening prayers? Cardinal Dolan. Yeah. Was he political? Absolutely not.
Nope.
He was looking to the future. So, listen,
Trump
just don't go back.
Donald Trump said he's non-denominational now, and so go to a non-denominational church. You're not going to get a lecture like that.
Well, put it this way: I wouldn't be. Why doesn't he just say, if you don't, get rid of her or change your tone? If the president of the United States decides not to go to the National Cathedral, that would be Titanic news.
It would be,
and it would really put pressure on her to start doing the whole bishop thing. I don't know what form she filled out and how many interviews she went through, but you realize for her to get that job and do that and to do that mass, how many people had to sign off on it?
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like, it's not like she's like,
oh, structure here.
I was just a hole in the schedule. I'm filling in for somebody.
She's had that job for a while. She absolutely, to your point, Ainsley, she is absolutely protected by the First Amendment.
Course.
And she can say anything she wants, but just, the Trump team probably should have looked a little into her background. Is she going to go ahead and sandbag him?
But she's supposed to be representing the great book, okay?
Right.
And nothing that she said there was representative of that. She's saying mercy, but it says nothing about obeying the laws of the land.
I think people who have her opinion are reading the whole border situation in the wrong way. It's not that he doesn't have compassion. Of course he has compassion on every single person. Everyone's God's child. It's not about that. It's about taxpayers paying so much for other people. We're pouring into the tax base.
That's right.
Send everybody back a refund. All them beautiful patriots need a refund back. Amen.
And they're giving that money to people who are not here legally and are not contributing. That's all it is. And the crime, the people that are murdering Lake and Riley, yes, you're right. She should have a conversation with their parents and have mercy on those families.
Which just passed. Lake and Riley, the Lake and Riley bill, and had over 40 votes in the House alone.
Right, goes back to the House today.
But she wants to be
famous.
That's why she hops on CNN. That's why she sat there.
And then she went on The View, The Spew. She went on The Spew to explain herself as well. You just can't make it up.
Video of her in 2020 with her ridiculous mask on, outdoors, with the little vent on the side. Screaming about Donald Trump.
Replace Trump.
And
she got a mask on. Unbelievable, man. You gotta be putting handcuffs.
He should be in the George Floyd riots. That's not somebody that wants to be a leader for everybody.
No, she shouldn't be in clergy.
Okay, so that's something.
More Al Sharpton.
A lot of people, both sides, talking about